Okay, it is Wednesday, so it's just about over time that I reviewed the weekend's Blood Bowl action. All very exciting, with my Dwarfs, who had gone unbeaten on the Saturday with two glorious 1-1 draws and a 1-0 win, as you would expect with Dwarves. And then I was coming up against Orcs for day 2, so game 4, and they went with block, 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 block. So block on all the Black Orcs. He had a Goblin for throwing shenanigans, but just a load of block as well. Yeah, it's a good fun game this. Can't really remember what happened. So Boomer is still coming around. So I had to rearrange every time. So I'm sort of trying to get Boomer here so that he's able to throw a bomb like on his first turn to about here, basically, so he can throw it without damaging my dudes. Obviously, I move these two guys out of the way, actually, usually, so that if he fumbles it, it doesn't blow them up as well. So my usual plan is to move these guys up, out one square, and then throw the bomb after. So he set up with just one thrower back, which I think is always risking thrower rock. To be honest, I think if you ever just leave one player back, I think you're doomed to get thrower rock inevitably. My dwarven armor had been pretty amazing in the entire game, which is really cool. Obviously you'd expect it, but I'd received very few injuries of any kind, which has been brilliant. And on his go, he managed not to roll any POWs, which I think is the first time I've seen that for quite a long time. Just complete lack of any knocking down of my guys, which is very cool. So I moved those two up, and then I threw the bomb slightly further, actually. So I went with that, and it just knocked over a Black Orc, so it didn't do very much. But yeah, I couldn't believe that first turn, just pushy, push, push. And it sort of continued like that. His dice were pretty shocking. So I had great dice the previous day as well, but what I discovered with Dwarves was that even with really nice dice, you can't sort of guarantee the win. That was quite fun. Let's get back for that. Yeah, so with Frenzy, it's always good. So basically he left a player a little bit too close to the end zone. So if you're standing next to someone with Frenzy, then 3 squares out of the sideline is just asking for surfing, really. So Frenzy, take the push, and then I took the push again, actually, because knocking down a blitzer is not that good because they got armor 9. So I took the push again, risked it, and then surfed, because then he's definitely off the pitch for the rest of the half, which is good. So then just running back to get in the way, and then throwing a bomb, which just took out the thrower, but not too badly. And there was to be no pouncing in an elfy way. So it is what it is. But basically his orcs were sort of nicely grouped together for most of the half, so I was able just to keep chucking the bombs in. So Boomer was having an absolutely lovely time. Just fairly close to the action, not tagged, and just wanging those bombs in and making a mess of the pitch. This time I sort of moved in a little bit, but didn't do very much before chucking the bomb. So I hit the guys that were in, but then I threw the bomb before using these 3, just in case something really exciting happened, and I was able to take out. So I threw it here to take out these 2 and the thrower as well. So risking interception each time, but that's fine. So this time I managed to stun the thrower, and the ball was slightly loose. So here I just wanted to put a bit of pressure on, so I got my blitz here, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the blitzer was actually going to try and swoop on the ball with 2 go frits and a 4-up pickup. But unfortunately my Longbeard didn't like running, and he snake-eyed the go for it, which is a bit disappointing. Finally he's going to tag Boomer. And if he picks up the ball, he can make a little bit of progress, but not a lot. Still just pushing my guys and not hurting anyone, really. In fact, I hurt myself more than he'd actually managed to hurt me at all, I think, just by falling over. Yeah, Boomer not tagged, actually. So he was tagged a second ago and then became untagged, which is great. So just a quick punch on the old blitzer there, because there's always a risk of the throw. So lineman on the ball now, actually, but the blitzer could run into the end zone and have the ball chucked to him. There is that risk there, so I knocked him down, and then Boomer did the thing and knocked the ball free, and that was quite good. And then I'm trying to figure out from now on whether I played it badly or not. So I stepped in, picked up the ball on a 4-up with a reroll, and then dodged out. And then I've got 4 turns after this one to sort of get up the pitch. But I get a little bit bogged down. I'm trying to figure out why in this particular case. So yeah, he's got the Black Orc. So I wasn't able to get safe particularly, and he was able to pow my chap, and then knocked his own troll over. So I've got so the runner's quite a long way. Oh, so that's why I got bogged down, because I got knocked over. Duh. So I basically wasn't able. So these two actually were tagged, but basically I had the blitzer, but the blitzer was sort of tagged as well. So my runners were a little bit too untidy to pick up the ball. So the runner got it, but wasn't able to make any progress. I still had 3 turns after this, and then he had quite a good turn here. Basically, he was able to, yeah. So it was the power was the problem there, because if he'd got anything but a power or a defender stumbles, then he'd have been completely stuffed, I think. But it was basically, so two good things happened for him in this turn. He was able to power my runner to tag the other runner, and then this blitzer dodges away as well. So if either of those things hadn't happened, I think I'd have been away, but because both of those went in his favour, I just got stuck. So yeah, so it's still looking alright at this stage, but then he was able to get someone next to the ball, and then from then on I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to score here at this stage. So I just sort of battened down the hatches and hoped for my half to come in, which is fine. So I don't think anything fancy happened in this half, because I was too far away to be able to score, and so I just punched him a bit. And then Boomer got sent off. So second half, my 11 against his 11 as well. I think it's going to be nothing very exciting happened. I just foul. It's always good to foul Boomer if he's still on the pitch at the end of the first half. High kick, and then I'm just going to be punching people a bit and trying to make some progress. Obviously difficult to get any orcs off the pitch, so it's it's still 11 against 11. It's just a great big fight basically when the orcs and dwarfs. It just gets a bit bogged down. Right, so I messed up a little bit here in that this guy was standing next to him, so he was able to. This is a blitzer, so he was able actually to knock a gap. So he got the powers when he needed them, I guess, but that meant the blitzer was able to come through with 2 go for it's, but only got both down. But he did tag the ball carrier, which meant that I wasn't able to use my blitz to make any sort of progress at all, only to try and get the player away from mine. So yeah, super sort of bogged down and going nowhere, which is a bit of a blow. And that was sort of the story for the next few turns, just mooching about. Alright, so I pushed forward a bit, and this was reasonably good actually. So I was able to get a gap in there, and then this is fairly alright. He's tagged. He can get round to the ball carrier here, but yeah, I was able to make a little bit of progress there. So all he's able to get is a half dice on the ball carrier, but he didn't go for that. I think troll moved in. So he used his blitz to get the Black Orc back. Now this was so he basically was able to knock over a few players, and I didn't play the next turn very well, basically, is what happened here. In that I was just trying to hit players, and I didn't entirely think through what I was doing, so he moved in. So what would have been a good thing to do here at this stage? So a load of guard are all around the place, but these guys are too far away from the action. I think what I wanted to do was, this guy was not tagged, he was giving an assist, which is a bit of a problem. I just wonder if I could have, I think I could have, if I'd have knocked him down and then possibly knocked him down as well. That would have been a 1 dice though. Then I could probably have got someone in there to... I think what happened, no, so I did knock him down. Oh no, I think I blocked the wrong one there. I think I should have blocked this one with this one, which would have eventually freed up this chap to come in here and cancel this tackle zone. I think that would have been the way to go. As it was, I just punched a few people. Yeah, no, messed that one up. And it just meant that I couldn't protect the runner at all. So what did I end up doing? So I ended up getting 2 dice on him. But did I use my blitz? Oh yeah, so the plan eventually was to... Oh yeah, so I ended up knocking him back and then taking a 2 dice blitz on this chap, and then running forward. Oh no, it wasn't even a 2 dice blitz, it was just a block. Ah right, okay, yeah, that was the problem. Yeah, it was a block and he just got stuffed. Oh, but he got away with it because he got pushed. Right, he got pushed, and it was the next turn that I sort of ran forward. But basically, yes, I got lucky with the POW there, but not able to get safe, basically. Oh yeah, he had to dodge out. Okay, so he had to dodge out, but just wasn't very safe. Like there was no flexibility with the dwarf offense really. Just lack of dwarf experience, I think, for me there. You have to sort of think through a few turns what you're gonna do. So yeah, lost the ball and then managed to pull off some shenanigans to POW the ball carrier, but and then get the ball back. But it was never going to be safe. And then he didn't manage to knock me down, which was quite nice. He both down skulled me. So let's have a look. 3-up dodge out for the touchdown, which is good news. And I fell over. So 0-0. So having complained about 1-alls and 1-0s yesterday, we had a spectacular 0-0 on this next one. So yeah, but it was a really good natured game. Yes, thoroughly recommended opponent. Yeah, on to game 5. Yes, I do want to leave the game. Right, last time this went wrong. So game 5. That's how that goes. So we went from Orcs, lots of armor, solid, slow, to Nurgle, lots of armor, solid, slow. He's got a bit of block and guard going on here, and he had a block beast as well. Raining, but it was raining, and he won the toss. And then chose to receive, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so he won the toss and chose to receive, which I would never do anyway. And the rain, I think, just made it even more so as a dodgy tactical choice. But c'est la vie. Yeah, if you kick, then you sort of control the game, and you know how the game's going, and you can choose sort of whether to go for the draw or the win, basically. That was my first casualty. I couldn't believe it because I was through 4 games without suffering much pain at all, and then along came the Nurgs and fist to dwarven face. But he got the ball. Did he catch the ball? I think he did. Was that a high kick? Yeah, high kick and caught the ball. So not to worry about the rain after all. And then he engaged quite a lot, so I was able to take down a rotter, and I think another one in a minute. Yeah, so 2 casualties. So he casualtied one of mine, but then I managed to get rid of 2 of his, which was happy days. Yeah, rotters aren't great at engaging with the ball. So this was weird. Oh yes, so what I did, so I was about to throw a bomb with Boomer, and then I realised that all this disturbing presence was going to be a bit of a problem, and so I decided to chuck him with the beast instead, so that the beast didn't cause any major troubles. But that was not very sensible. It was a spur of the moment decision when I realised that Boomer was going to be completely useless in this game, sadly. And then he is forced to sort of move back a bit. Which is good from a Nurgle point of view, and then he fouled one of my dudes off the pitch, but badly hurt, so I used my Apo. Yeah, didn't have to use the Apo hugely amounts in this game. In this sort of tournament, I'm not sure about the Apo Dwarfs because they get hurt so infrequently. I think I used it on the KO a few times. So yeah, he's tries to make some progress going forward, but basically I just need to get in the way. Managed to trap one of his beasts against the sideline, and then put a bit of pressure on the ball there, and then another one as well. So quite happy about the amount of pressure on the ball. And then he double sculled, but had the reroll. So he was blitzing, like nice move there, blitzing to make him strength 4. Basically, didn't need to blitz, but yeah, blitzed to make himself strength 4, I think. And then yeah, the beast is sort of going backwards a little bit, which is good. No, beast man, sorry, not the beast of Nurgle, obviously. So I'm just beating up his dudes over here, which is always fun. And then had a blitz on the ball carrier. Yeah, so he wasn't able to get. What stops him getting safe actually? Let's have a look. So yeah, he had a double both down. Yeah, he had a double both down, which wasn't great for him. Meant that so that stuffed him up, and then I was able to power the ball. Completely messed that up. I followed into the beast of Nurgle tackle zone, which is not very sensible. If I hadn't made that, then if I hadn't followed up, I could have gone there and then picked the ball up. But then I'd be standing next to a beast Nurgle anyway, so who knows. So yeah, just a bit of a ruck going on here. He didn't have any rerolls left at this stage, so making life a bit tricky for him. He was a bit sad about the dice, as I remember. So I'm just more punching, a little bit more pain going on really, and these guys are all trapped by the sidelines. So tricky times for him. My turn 7 this is, so I was able to. So this guy, absolute star, 1 dice push on the beast, resists the foul appearance. So that's 1, 2, and then he's going to pick up the ball. What rain? I have sure hands. Woo! And then no rerolls left, but I managed to make the 2 go for it. Look at that, 6, 6, 6, yeah! And now he's within 8 squares of scoring, which is good news. And then he manages to tag my guy, but I'm able to. Am I able to do anything, or do I just dodge out? Oh no, I'm not able to do anything. I just dodge out with the skills. So I'm punching quite a lot of people because I didn't think this was very likely to work, but as it was, I was able to dodge and then go for it twice and score. Woohoo! So yeah, 1-0 up, and players up as well. So second half was not looking good. So I think both his KOs. Oh no, weren't KOs. No, so they just they weren't again. They were never going to come back because they were badly hurt. But my guys were mostly. So I had the ball and I was players up. So this was all good. Was I able to make the most of it? Is the question. So yeah, a bit of a rut going on here. I got a bit stuck, did I? No, I was all right there. Yeah, able to run forward. Oh no, I completely messed this up. I'm not quite sure why I did that. Yeah, so looking back at this is obviously rubbish because he can just push him away, and then he can come in and blitz my guy. So it was one of those situations where he'd been complaining about the dice a little bit basically, and I was 1-0 up and receiving, and I thought, this will be fine, I'll just pootle forward. But then I sort of messed up somewhat, and so he came in and but was only able to push me. Oh no! He was frenzy. That's probably what I missed. Anyway, so he frenzied my guy off the pitch. That was a bit of a blow. And then I was thinking, oh no, I've got into one of these situations again where I should have been able to just stroll it in, but wasn't able to do as well as I should. So that's quite cool. He made resist. He came in, picked up the ball, made the tentacles escape, and then failed the dodge. So, but then so I managed to get the ball back, which is good news. So what happened on his turn? Oh yes, he double sculled. He both down sculled with Gauge Dawnflower, and then re-rolled it into a double skull, which did not go down very well, has to be said. And at that point, so I'd got away with it then. And was able to pick up the ball and get fairly safe again, which is great. And then he was able to forward, but not get very safe as it was. I just sort of ran and hoped that he wouldn't be able to score. No rerolls for him. I've still got 1. This is not a great drive. It really was not. I'd played 5 games of blah blah by this stage. That's my defence. But I think this was 1-0 in the end. I don't think there was very much scoring going on from anyone. It was just a bit of a ruck in the mud by this stage. I imagine with the pouring rain and all the blood that was going on and the bombs that had been thrown, and it was all just a bit silly. And I don't think he was even particularly trying to score. He got the ball, but it was all it was never going to happen. Yeah, all very fun. Anyway, so yes, glorious 1-0 1-0 victory in the end. So yes, so we got a 0-0 and then a 1-0. Brilliant. Love the Dwarfs. Who was next? So this was game 6. Was against Cavorn. And I'm afraid this is where all the ducks came home to roost, or whatever it is that ducks do. He had a Claw Minotaur. He had a couple of Block Chaos Warriors. He had a Mighty Blow Claw Chaos Warrior. He had a Mighty Blow Claw Beast Man. Oh no, load of tin openers. And it went sort of as you might expect. I got duffed up. So he chose to receive. Now this is one situation where you would choose to receive, I think, and you would just rip into the dwarfs as much as possible and just trying to get rid of them. And he completely managed to do that, to be honest. He had the fame, and he just played it right. He just beat me up. That was unfortunate. Yeah, both down skull on that one. But yeah, I sort of got bogged down. Not able to do very much. Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, he had reasonable dice, but my dwarfs just spent a lot of time on the floor and in the dead box, to be honest. And it was a bit of a shame because I'd had quite a nice weekend, but I got to this game and I thought, I can't do anything because I got beaten up, unfortunately. And he surrounded me, did really well, and just yeah, Boomer was still doing his stuff. He was a bit of a star all weekend. He's had some really good tournaments recently, Boomer. I've seen him do absolutely brilliant things, just rip into teams completely when he's on fire. And he was quite good fun with the dwarves because the dwarves do sort of have quite static games. They sort of stand still, and then that bodes well for someone who can just stand there and chuck bombs at people. Yeah. So he trundled down the pitch. I wonder if I made any sort of reasonable stab at stopping him. I don't think so. Oh, this was bad. Yeah, sculled myself out against the Minotaur. Here's a tip: don't take a skull against a Mighty Blow Claw Minotaur if you're a dwarf, or if you're anyone, to be honest. Bad idea. So yeah, this was not a very interesting half. Oh, that was one chance I had, wasn't it? Yeah, and I managed to snake eye go for it. So was it? Yeah. So the only chance I had really was, yeah. So he left me with a blitz on the ball carrier, but was not to be. And then he didn't score straight away. So I was I was sort of able to do a little bit of tagging, but nothing very much. Yeah. And then he ran over there. Nothing very much. Yes. So he scored. And Boomer came back. Hooray! I passed a secret weapon test. So he was able to come back for one turn, which is a bit of a blow. And then second half. So I am a couple of players, well, only one player down. But then the worst of the worst. Pitch invasion, deep kick, all sorts of trouble. Yeah, pitch invasion affected me, didn't affect him. What did he have? Did he have +2 fame or +1? Yeah, just the +1 fame, but that was enough to completely stitched me up. The only good thing about this pitch invasion was that he was quite a long way back, but it just meant that he was able to just swamp the players that were up, basically. I'm surprised he didn't tag this one. The Chaos Warrior could have gone for it one more square, and then I'd have been completely stuffed with him as well. But basically, I did badly there. I should have taken everyone back, thinking about it, and just done my best to. Anyone who was spare should have consolidated back here. This was silly. This was pointless because they just got swamped by people who are bigger and stronger and meaner than them. And then I wasn't able to do anything. So yeah, it's a bit of a disaster this half, really. So we can draw a veil over it, I think. I sort of did my best, but then I think I lost the ball really quickly. Did I lose it here? Yeah. Oh no, not quite there. Got away with that with push, but I don't think I'm going anywhere fast. So all I was able to do was sort of consolidate a bit, but there was no way I was getting through, like, at all, because I was just surrounded and out-muscled, despite having loads of guard. It just wasn't. It was no good. I wonder when my down. Oh, so yeah, so it was really interesting actually, because I just ran out of. I just wasn't able to make any forward progress. It wasn't like I was completely stuffed until this point, because I think I had some poor dice at some point. But basically, there was no hope of me making any forward progress at all. Yeah, it was quite a frustrating game, really. But and then he got the ball eventually, and then walked it in for a 2-0. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Shame it had to finish like that, but it was what was it? 2 wins, 3 draws, and a loss. So above half record. And Dwarfs are good fun sometimes, maybe. Depends what you call fun, doesn't it? Thank you for watching.